Why Supreme Court's hearing on Karnataka government's plea is an important topic to understand federalism. VVPAT is in news. Why was it brought in? And people have a right against climate change impact, said Supreme Court. Why is it called to action? Hello everyone, I am Srivastava and I'm here with the 3 must reads from the Indian Express today. आज की तारीख है April 9th of April और हर बार की तरह newspaper is like a textbook for your current affairs preparation, which also takes you to the static part of the syllabus for a lot of competitive examination, and it's all stages. Whether it gives you facts or it gives you analysis, opinions, or explain things, everything is very important to be read from the newspaper. Now, मैं हर बार कहता हूं कि ये इलेक्शन सीजन है. In fact, it's an election festival now, where news and articles around politics, politicians, election commissions, and controversies, and the promises, and who fulfills the promises and who not. What about the manifestos? So there will be news around all these things. लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना छोड़ दें. आप सोचें कि ये तो पॉलिटिक्स है और हमें पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. कई बार इन्हीं न्यूज आइटम से एक बहुत पोटेंशियल क्वेश्चन बनता है, डायरेक्टली आइदर फ्रॉम द हेडलाइन और द न्यूज, और समटाइम्स यू हैव टू डाइव डीप, look out for other sources to understand that particular issue. और ऐसा ही फर्स्ट इशू या फर्स्ट पिक फॉर टुडे इज फ्रॉम द फ्रंट पेज ऑफ द न्यूज़पेपर. नाउ दिस news is actually about two governments, the center and the state government. They are, and there is a very important issue in between. And this particular news item becomes important because it talks about federalism. Okay, federalism के लिए बहुत important है. तो आप हो सकता है ये न्यूज आर्टिकल छोड़ दें उसकी हेडलाइन पढ़ के या उसका एक्सर्ट पढ़ के, but it is important because in this particular news, Supreme Court has said something very important. Now, not creating any suspense, let's go to the first read. The first pick comes from the front page. Karnataka plead on drought assistance, and then the headline says Supreme Court let there not be a center-state contest, states coming to court. Okay, so the headline tells you that there is something important. Center-state relations hai, so of course federalism ke point of view se important hai. And center giving false information, blaming state for delay, highly condemnable, will expose lies, said Siddharamaiah. ये देख के आपको लगता होगा कि ये न्यूज छोड़ दे, पर देखिए तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा क्या है. Now, let me just read the first two paragraphs and you will understand the context. The Supreme Court on Monday called on the center and state governments to refrain from a contest and noted that various state governments were approaching the court to seek relief against the center in matters related to dispersal of funds. The bench of Justice B.R. Gavai and Sandeep Mehta was hearing the Karnataka government's plea seeking a direction to the center to release finance assistance from the National Disaster Response Fund, that is NDRF, for drought management. तो जैसे कि मैंने बताया, इशू क्या है, इसका बैकग्राउंड इशू इज द कर्नाटका ड्रॉट्स. ठीक है, उसके बारे में पहले आपको जानकारी ले लेनी चाहिए. इफ यू हैव नॉट बीन फॉलोइंग न्यूज एंड न्यूज़पेपर, प्लीज जस्ट गो ब्रीफली ऑन द एक्सप्लेन सेक्शन, फाइंड द issue on Karnataka drought, and then it talks about NDRF. Okay, now before we go ahead, let me just tell you, go to NDMA की website, National Disaster Management Authority, which comes under Ministry of Home Affairs. Remember, very important question, इससे question बन सकता है. और वहां पे आप थोड़ा NDRF, SDRF के बारे में पढ़िए. आप also you look at NDRMF and DRMF, which SDRMF, which is National Disaster Risk Management related है, फंड है. और ये इसमें 15 फाइनेंस कमीशन क्या कहता है, ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एक वेबसाइट का पेज है, उस पे जाइए, यू विल गेट ऑल दिस इंफॉर्मेशन. इसे कहते हैं कि आप करंट अफेयर से स्टैटिक पढ़ना, एंड एग्जाम में क्वेश्चंस इसके अराउंड फ्रेम होते हैं. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट. देन ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज एन आर्ग्यूमेंट which is by Kapil Sibal, who was appearing as an advocate, said, and it's very important for you to read this. The Karnataka government has accused the center of not providing financial assistance for drought management. Sibal told the bench that the rules require the center to take a final decision on providing NDRF assistance within a month of receiving the Interministerial Center Team report, that is IMCT report. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट है जो हाईलाइट किया गया है. For Karnataka, this period expired in December 2023, but there was nothing forthcoming, he submitted. ठीक है, so the argument is also giving you one information about in how much time after IMCT says or report says anything that the center should take some action. This is not being done. The NDRF assistance is not being given. Now anyway, now just coming to the last important aspect of this particular news for your examination and for your studies point of view are the two important articles which this particular the Supreme Court has said with reference to this particular news. Go to the last two paragraphs of this particular article. The plea raises more than one substantial question regarding interpretation of the Constitution, including whether Article 293 of the Constitution vests a state with an enforceable right to raise borrowing from the union government or other sources. Then it says, the Supreme Court added, if yes, to what extent such a right can be regulated by the union government. So Article 293 becomes very important, जो कि बात करता है borrowing powers of state की. Please remember this. Then it has also said that since Article 293 of the Constitution has not been so far the subject of any authoritative interpretation by the court, in our considered opinion, the aforesaid questions squarely fall within the ambit of Article 145, Clause 3 of the Constitution. Besides, it also raises various questions on significant importance impacting the federal structure of governance as embedded in our Constitution. मैंने stress क्यों किया federal structure पे? Because it is a time when you just look what is federalism and what is federalism in India. Is it tilted towards center or state? What are its characteristics? So ये सारी चीजें आपको पता होनी चाहिए. ठीक है? For example, federalism is it's a system of government in which powers have been divided between center and its similar constituent parts such as states and provinces. In our country's context, it's states. So what are its special characteristics? Okay, ये चीज देखने के लिए आपको करंट अफेयर्स जो कि न्यूज़पेपर है उससे आपको स्टैटिक पार्ट पे जाना पड़ेगा. Also, Article 145 Clause 3 becomes very important. So two articles which are mentioned here, polity book pe jaiye, note it down and just make a background note for this particular news item. Okay, this is my first pick, very important from the perspective of polity and federalism. Now my second pick comes directly from the explained page, and as I said that election ka season hai, bahut baar ye baatein ki jayegi, and we are talking about VVPAT. So why VVPAT was brought in and why opposition is, wants all slips verified. The Damini Nath ne explainer likha hai, and the first two paragraphs give you a little context. With the first phase of voting set to take place on April 19, the Supreme Court last week said that petitions seeking 100% verification of VVPAT, that is voter verified paper audit trail slips, would be taken soon. In March 2023, the Association of Democratic Reforms had filed a petition before the Apex Court saying that to ensure free and fair elections, that the tally from EVMs should be cross-verified with VVPATs. To make sure that this process is carried out as fast as possible, ADR suggested the use of barcodes on VVPAT slips. ठीक है, तो ये तो पूरा मामला है, ये तो केस है, ठीक है. Now, but what is VVPAT and how does it work is an important aspect to note. The VVPAT machine is attached to the ballot unit of the EVM and provides visual verification for the vote cast by a voter by printing a slip of paper with the voter's choice on it. This slip of paper containing the candidate's serial number, name, and party symbol is displayed in the machine behind a glass window, giving the voter 7 seconds to verify her vote. Following this, the slip falls into a compartment underneath. No voter please pay attention to this, can take the VVPAT slip back home as it is later used to verify votes cast in 5 randomly selected polling booths. Remember, 5. The idea is that by allowing a physical verification of the electronically cast vote, both voters and political parties have greater faith in the process that their vote is being recorded correctly. Okay, now this VVPAT machine first emerged in 2010, and it was with an idea of making polling process more transparent. So free and fair election is an important concept, idea for elections in a democracy, and so is transparency. Now, the question here, which you will also find in your explainer, is why are VVPAT slip only for 5 booth randomly counted? Okay, not for every booth. And here, there is a accuracy of the election. Indian Statistical Institute, ISI, came to the picture, came to a help, and it said mathematically sound, statistically robust, and practically congruent sample size for the internal audit of the VVPAT slips with electronic results of EVM. And this is what EC also mentioned in affidavit to the Supreme Court. Now, why does the election commission not wanting or does not want to count those 50% of VVPAT slip? This is something which you should look for, and if you understand it, please reply in the comment box below. So these are the 2 must reads which you have to do. VVPAT is very important. इस पे कुछ ना कुछ क्वेश्चन बन ही सकता है एग्जाम के लिए, काफी न्यूज में है, and if I am not wrong, पहले भी एग्जाम्स में क्वेश्चंस इस पे पूछा जा चुका है. So just it's back in news, so you must read it because we are back in election mode. All right. Now, my last read comes from the editorial page. Now, why I am taking this piece? Because it is written in a manner जो आपको आंसर राइटिंग में भी हेल्प कर सकता है, एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव दे सकता है. ये न्यूज जो है वो कल से रिलेटेड है, व्हेन सुप्रीम कोर्ट has said something on how climate change, its impact are a part of, it should be a part, and it is a part of our fundamental rights. So people have a right against climate change impact. That is what Supreme Court said. And, it gives us a fundamental right. Now, there is an explainer also. Kal bhi humne is pe discuss kiya tha. There was a lot of things which we had to keep in mind. In the editorial today, and this is the Express View, there are a lot of things which are mentioned. For example, in the first paragraph, the Supreme Court of India has taken an expansive view on 2 fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. This is Article 14, which is right to equality, and Article 21, right to life and liberty under Article 21, to underline the need to protect lives and livelihoods in the face of climate change, one of the toughest and most pressing global challenge. The significance of the court's verdict delivered on March 21, uploaded on Supreme Court's website on Saturday, cannot be overstated. Now, when you read the entire editorial, you will have a very important perspective on this particular news. But from your, factual point of view, there are 2 important cases which are mentioned. Jisko main, I want to take you to these cases. The Apex Court has from time to time seen environmental protection through the lens of rights. In MC Mehta versus Union of India 1987, for instance, it treated the right to live in a pollution-free environment as a part of right to life. Since then, Supreme Court verdict, including as late as March this year, in a case related to the mining major Vedanta, again important, have underlined that people have a right to breathe unpolluted air, drink clean water, and live a healthy life. अगर कल आप लोगों ने ये वीडियो देखा होगा जो मैं 3 must reads करता हूँ, I mentioned there that there are some other important issues which have been brought under fundamental rights, or the court has said with reference to your fundamental rights, with reference to environment. And I asked you that, you should make a list. These are the 2 important things which are mentioned here. So just note it down. And of course, you can write an answer, you can write an essay on this particular issue of environment and fundamental right and so on and so forth, and add a lot of information from here. Okay, इसके साथ साथ I would request you to read the explainer, which gives you very important breakups, important facts, and important analysis on this particular issue. तो कल का फ्रंट पेज, आज का ओपिनियन एडिटोरियल एंड आज का ही एक्सप्लेनर आपका पूरा टॉपिक कवर कर देगा. All right. Also, just a question to ask. You know that this particular issue has come up because of Great Indian Bustard का जो केस है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में उससे रिलेटेड. Is there any other bird which or any other creature or bird which is associated with this particular case? Okay, we are talking about GIB, but is there anything else or not? Maybe not. Okay, और अगर ऐसा नहीं है तो what is a great Indian bustard? What is its important? Why is it important for us? उसके बारे में आपको note down करना चाहिए. So that's all from me today. We'll be back tomorrow again. Please write to me at manas.srivastava@indianexpress.com. Think smart, work hard, conquer your goal. Bye bye.